Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Silicon Dreams on Radio Zindagi 1550 AM. I'm your host, Charlene from Orbis 86. And today we have with us Rachel Sow, a financial planner with Web3 marketing expertise. Former auditor blending traditional finance with innovative strategies, she is dedicated to excellence, compliance, and navigating the evolving digital landscape. Welcome, Rachel. It's great to have you on our show today.
Thank you, Charlene. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's dive straight into your journey. So you mentioned working as an auditor for several years before entering the Web3 space in 2021. What motivated you to make the switch from traditional finance to the relatively new and evolving sector? And walk us through your journey.
Yeah, so I was in traditional finance for 6 to 7 years, and I've seen a lot of things in finance of like how people handle money, how the money flows, and all. So I actually transitioned to Web3 once I've seen all of these. And when I know about crypto, I realized that there is a way to actually change the way we handle money.
Yeah.
So that's where I get more aware and I went more into the crypto rabbit hole. And since 2021, I actually went full-time into crypto and worked there full-time.
Awesome. That sounds like an interesting journey. And definitely crypto is the new way to handle money. What were some of the biggest challenges, though, that you faced, while you jumped into this new space and navigating through it?
Yeah, so the whole crypto space and Web3 space is very technical, especially for like people who come from non-finance.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a little better, but it's still challenging. So there's a lot of technical terms that I have to learn, like liquidity pools, decentralized finance, there's a DeFi, there's so many narratives in it. Like there's RWAs, there's the GameFi, SocialFi, and so many things that the space is moving so fast. Yeah, and there's a lot of things to keep up. So I think the biggest challenge is just navigating the space and to make sure that we are on track.
Right. I mean, Web3 is definitely changing constantly. Every minute there's something new, something crazy happening. So you have to keep up with what's, going on. And
Yeah.
especially if you are not from a finance background, definitely. On that note, let's move to your current role at Denari, which involves marketing, growth, and business development. Tell us a little bit about what a typical day looks like for you. How do these different aspects come together in your work?
Yeah, so I handle marketing, growth, and business development. So on the marketing side, what I do is to create content and I manage social media posts like
Right.
Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also now we are going more into YouTube. So that's on the marketing front. Just for context, Denari is like an RWA, a real world asset protocol. So
Right.
what I'm doing is to market the product for it. So on different social medias and just amplify the content whenever we have. And when we have partnerships and launches with different chains, Arbitrum or Blast, so I would just amplify that on social media. So that's more for marketing.
Right.
And for growth and business development, what I do is I find different people that I can partner with. So I go on Telegram, I message them, I use Twitter, and I direct message to them, and just to find partners that are in line with what we do, and then I schedule call with them and just go along with it. So I manage my time between marketing, growth, and business development.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's quite challenging, but yeah, I love what I do.
That's great. You love what you do. I think that's a very nice statement. Now that you spoke about Denari being a tokenized asset platform backed by US Treasuries, if I'm not mistaken, can you explain in simpler terms for our listeners how tokenization works and the benefits it offers for assets like treasuries?
Yeah. So in the past, traditional assets like stocks, so Apple, for example, they are just listed on the New York Exchange or the NASDAQ. So you have like a fixed US time, a market time that it will open. But when you tokenize it on the blockchain, it's available 24/7, where you can actually access them on the DeFi, on the blockchain.
Okay.
So in layman terms, it's actually bringing illiquid traditional finance onto the blockchain to make it more accessible for users. And the benefit of blockchain is transparent. So everyone can just see how much you buy, how much you sell, how much dividends you even get on the blockchain as well. So what we do here at Denari, we pass the dividends to the users as well. Just like how when you hold a stock, like Apple stock, when they have their earnings report, they would have the dividends paid out. So when we tokenize it on the blockchain, it's the same. You still get the dividends. Everything is on the blockchain and you get dividends, and also you get stable coins as well as part of the yield. So it's a lot of benefit to tokenize the asset.
Okay, thank you for that, for those insights. Now I know that Denari has a sister company, Solid Violet, which is being developed as a DEX for the real world assets. What kind of real world assets do you envision being traded on this platform?
Yeah, so now we are working on this sister company, Solid Violet, as a real world asset decentralized exchange. So currently now there's a lot of projects that launch their token, that they tokenize the traditional assets, but now they lack the marketplace to actually issue out the assets. So at Solid Violet here, what we do is we will ask the distributors of their assets to actually come together as like an ecosystem in Solid Violet. And what we do here is everyone can just trade like a marketplace, like a stock exchange. So this is like a real world asset that we have partners coming in. So now we have stocks from Denari, and then we are working on different partners. We're going to launch on Plume Network, and we have also looking forward to space assets as well and collectibles. So what I envision in these few years to come, that Solid Violet will be a decentralized exchange that is used for all the real world assets, like anything you can think of, anything liquid like collectibles like Pokemon cards, anything that you can think of, real asset, real estates, REITs, yeah, everything that you can think of, it can be on the blockchain.
That's great. That sounds wonderful. And since we're talking about blockchain, just from like a personal point of view, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that are being faced in Web3 adoption today, especially because you've moved from traditional finance? Now, I know we spoke about challenges like the upcoming trends and everything changing in Web3, but what are some other challenges that you think people are facing with Web3 adoption? And on the other hand, what are some of the exciting opportunities that you see emerging in the space?
I think the biggest challenge now is regulatory compliance. So everyone is building projects in crypto now, but there's a lot of compliance things that are not being met. So that's the big challenge now. And I think people are starting to realize that we can't just bypass the legislation of the specific locations that we are at. So for example, like there's issue with Coinbase, there's a notice from SEC to Uniswap and stuff. So I think with all these big exchanges coming in light, so more people are starting to be aware that compliance is needed. That's why at Denari and Solid Violet, what we do is we tend to make sure that we are compliant, that we have KYC for users and also for the issuers for asset issuers that want to come on board on our exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay, that's good. Yeah, because that would be my next question as to how Denari is actually taking this. But you've answered that for me. And what can we really expect from Denari and Solid Violet in the coming months and years? Are there any exciting developments or milestones that you can share with us?
yeah, so for Denari now, we just hit our 500,000 total value lock. So this is a small achievement, yeah, but it's a beginning to see traction on chain. Yeah, so this is like the first milestone that we hit, and then we are looking forward to more. And now we are building on Solid Violet. So now we have the token sale that we are gonna plan, and then we would have the token launch in the fall of 2024. So we are working towards that now. Yeah, to find more issuers, more partners, investors on chain. Yeah, to come on board on our ecosystem.
That's great. I'm actually we're looking forward, and I'm pretty sure the listeners here are hooked on to what's going to be next for Denari and Solid Violet. On a slightly different note, and something we probably didn't plan, but I just want to ask you your stance on Web3 and AI, just of them coming together from two different worlds, but also forming this amazing collaboration. What is your idea and perception of that?
Yeah, I think to me this is a very unique combination that it would work
Mhm.
because Web3, the benefits of it is it's being transparent.
Right.
Yeah. So when it's being transparent, everything that is tracked, it's publicly available. So
Mhm.
everyone can just see what is happening.
Yeah.
And for AI, the narrative of AI is where everything is automated. But in the sense of Web3, it's not to say the AI is like robotics and stuff. The
Yeah.
AI is more on like smart contracts on so it actually helped the engineering team to issue out like automated contracts and stuff. So I think when both the narrative comes together, it would definitely be a great synergy together.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, that's something we're all looking forward to too. But I think, a lot of people have this negative perception of AI saying that, oh, will it take over my job? Will it, do things that like destroy the world or, that kind of potential. But I think it is just like the internet where everybody did not anticipate the possibilities of it, but now have embraced it. And it's really how you choose to use it. So, yeah, thank you for those insights too. Now that you've been working in Web3 for a while, for someone who's interested in starting a career in Web3 and may not just be a founder or someone who's, starting ground up, but who comes in as a marketer and a business developer, what advice would you give them in terms of acquiring the necessary skills and knowledge?
Yeah, I think to me, Web3 now it's still very early, where
Mhm.
a lot of people have interest and they can come in. But I think the necessary skills is to just learn about the blockchain
Mhm.
itself,
Okay.
because a lot of people tend not to go technical,
Yeah.
where they just know the surface. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I think in order to succeed in Web3, you really need to know the foundations of the blockchain, what is the ecosystem like, what are the chains, how our interoperability works.
Yeah.
So in terms of different chains, yeah. So I would advise like newcomers to just learn more on these technical parts and to just join the space. Everyone is welcome.
Absolutely. Just quoting, blockchain is really a tech game changer, said Richie Norton. This was a famous quote that I remember. And yeah, I think a lot of people need to start ground up, learn what blockchain really is. And also, I think more on the instead of, just understanding the tech side of things, because to layman, I think it's very important to also understand the use cases, because otherwise it's very difficult to get people to adopt Web3 to start with. So do
Yeah.
you think that how do you what do you feel about balancing out the tech with the use case of an actual product? Like, how would you explain it if you had to somebody who's completely new?
Yeah, I think in layman terms, crypto is the best way
Mhm.
to see money flow and
Okay.
all. And in order to succeed in Web3, I think you need to be a person who is able to explain something technical in layman terms.
Yeah,
So I think that's where the marketing comes into play.
that's true.
Where for example, like for Denari, when I say tokenized stocks, right? Some people don't understand about tokenization, but it's actually the same with traditional stocks. It's just on the blockchain using smart contracts and you get dividends as well.
Yeah,
So in layman terms, it's similar, but on the blockchain where you can do more and it's publicly accessible.
yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about blockchain is it's very important because everyone can know what you're doing,
Mhm.
where there will not be manipulation. So
Mhm.
that is the one thing that we are trying to prevent here through
Yeah.
tokenization and blockchain. Yeah, so that there will be compliance and everyone would be aware of what people are doing on the blockchain. So that would be no manipulation.
Absolutely. That is true. That is definitely one of the perks of being in Web3. Coming to our last question for today's discussion, you've made a successful transition from traditional finance to Web3, which I think I've mentioned way too many times. But what are your observations on the current landscape for women entrepreneurs in Web3? And do you see any unique challenges or opportunities for women in this space?
Yeah, I think now I see more and more women coming into Web3.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when I go to events like around my local area, I see a lot of women entrepreneurs as well. So, but there's a lot more women currently now that are on the business development side, that are not on the engineering or the development side. So I feel that when we have the passion for crypto, for Web3 and blockchain, I think women are capable to actually take the leadership role as well,
Yeah.
not just in the BD. So we can do much more. Yeah. So for me, I think women and men, there's no difference, that there's no discrimination, that so women can actually do the same that men is doing. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to what this space will bring for women to just rise up, because it's a very new space and we can see women coming, and I'm expecting more and more to come in these next few years.
Absolutely. I look forward for the same thing. And, I'm just going to again quote Elizabeth Stark, the co-founder of Lightning Labs, where she said, Web3 has the potential to empower women economically by providing new opportunities for financial inclusion and entrepreneurship. And I think that was very rightly said. You also mentioned going to events. So this, I know that was my last question, but I would love to ask you the importance of IRL events, just meeting and networking in Web3. How important is that for you as someone in marketing and business growth?
Going to a real life event is important as a way to meet different people, so that you can actually not just meet them, but learn from the different people that you meet.
Yeah.
So there's investors, there's VCs, there's founders, and also people who are not in crypto, who just wants to know about crypto. So you can meet so many different kinds of people there. And it's not just about us wanting to find partnerships and all, but just to learn from one another. So I think that's a great thing of going to real life event. And another thing is like to create like a brand awareness for, let's say for me, it's Denari and Solid Violet, to just let more people know about the brand.
Yeah.
So because in marketing, there's this saying that you have more touch points and you have more mind shares to people. So when you go to real life events and when you mention more about the brand, people would remember you more.
True.
So I think that's why we go to real life events as well.
Absolutely. Networking. And I think, definitely more brand recall when you meet them in real life. So that's true. And, on that note, I would love to end today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rachel. It's been incredibly insightful to hear from your journey and your exciting developments in the Web3 space. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlene.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Silicon Dreams. Stay tuned for more episodes where we bring you the latest trends and innovations in technology. Until next time, have a great day.